All right. You're all set.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order for the Southborough Housing Opportunity Partnership Committee on Wednesday, May 26th at 8:48 a.m. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Southborough Housing Opportunity Partnership Committee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Southborough's town website at www.southboroughtown.com. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen to the meeting or participate may do so in the following manner: www.southboroughtown.com/remote meetings. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we aren't able to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on Southborough's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Oh, we have a full board. Yay. Okay, first item on the agenda. I would like to do the approval of the minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to read them? Any discussion or changes? Okay, can we get a motion to approve the minutes from Wednesday, from Tuesday, May the 4th, 2021?
So moved.
Okay, second, anyone?
Second.
Okay, this is a roll call vote. I'll call you as I see you on my screen. John?
Aye.
M?
Aye.
Chelsea?
Aye.
Alex? Jesse?
Aye.
Alex, you have to put you're muted. I have to come back to you. Tom B?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
Okay, Dorian is an aye. Okay, that passes unanimously. Okay, Master Plan Committee update. Tom, do we have anything at all?
Nope, there was no quorum last meeting, so no meeting last week.
Okay, all right. And the Board of Selectmen on the implementation plan for the Community One-Stop application, they have elected to have us step down and have the EDC step forward and to apply for that $75,000 grant. So we are no longer involved in that. So if we're doing anything, you guys can go ahead and stop working on it because we are out. Affordable Housing Trust 5-year plan grant submission. Sarah has been in touch with MIPA, so I'm going to let her talk to you about her communications.
Yeah, so MAPC has assigned us a project manager. So he reached out to me and told me that he was going to get me a scope of work this week. I reached out back to him and told him that we had this meeting, obviously, and I was hoping to have it in advance of that meeting. But he unfortunately hasn't gotten back to me yet. So when it comes in, I will definitely distribute it to the group for review, and then we can discuss at our next meeting.
And they're thinking that they can get it done in about a 6-month time.
Yes, they're actually thinking that 6 months would be the maximum time it would take to complete this process, but hoping that they can get it done in about 4 months so that we can have a product, to kind of circulate around town.
Okay. And then I received an email from Jason Malinowski. Capital would like to meet with us and have a discussion about creating a subcommittee to try to figure out options for affordable housing in town. So the South Union building was postponed. So I'm assuming the sale is not going through. So that is still a viable option for us to do something with. And then we had discussed the Southville, creating a district within the Southville area. Sarah and I actually drove down there the other day, and we kind of looked all the way down to the Rose Garden. And we just kind of assessed the whole area all the way back to Parkerville, that whole downtown, you know, that whole section of town. Pulled it up on a map and have a couple of things I want to check into. So we'll bring that forward to the board at our next meeting. We'll send out all the documents, the maps and everything, but we're just trying to pull stuff together before we get that to you guys. So, but that's something we definitely need to take a look at first before we discuss it with Capital. So I'm thinking by the next meeting, you should have those documents in your hands, probably before the meeting. And then Karina has sent everyone on this board 2 emails. I'm sure you have them. There are 2 educational opportunities for all of us. There's the Housing Institute is doing 3 sessions, June 3rd, 10th, and the 17th about housing opportunities. And then the CHAPA is doing 1 session on June 30th from 1:30 in the afternoon till 3. You know how I feel, the more educated we are, the better we can help people. So if any of you would like to take the opportunity to register yourself for those classes, those Zoom meetings, I would appreciate it. I'm going to sign up for all of them. But if you don't have that email from Karina and you can't find them, let's see, May 25th, one was sent and the other one was May 24th. So if you can't find them, I'm happy to resend them to you, but I think it's a great opportunity to educate ourselves further on affordable housing.
You know what's interesting? I'm looking at the CHAPA thing. They have one specifically for Metro West and another one for Worcester and Central Mass. So they really are treating the 495 Route 9 Mass Pike Belt as different from Central Mass.
So you can sign up for both.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying it's, you know, it'd be interesting. Is Metro West actually classified as a section of the state? We always call it Metro West because that's where we live. Because I was thinking about doing the Metro West one and see what they consider Metro West. The CHAPA does.
I was signing up for Metro West. Yes, we can.
Sarah, Dorian, would you guys mind just sending me those emails so I can use them for the minutes?
Sure, I can forward them to you.
That'd be great. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no worries.
I'm going to do the Metro West one because I think that's more pertinent to our area. But it is interesting that they are doing one for Worcester area. But to me, the Metro West is more pertinent to us. Somebody can sign up for Worcester and see if there's different information, but I think the Metro West is the one we need to listen to.
Agreed.
The banks treat Worcester area much differently than they do what we consider Metro West, such as Sudbury, Wayland, Framingham.
All right, well, if I would just suggest we sign up for Metro West, that's our area, but if somebody was interested and wanted to just learn what they were gonna do for the Worcester area, I mean, it's not gonna hurt because there's enough of us that would sign up for Metro West, but I just think it's important. So I would suggest signing up for at least one of those sessions if you wouldn't mind, and then we can discuss them at a later.
Dorian, I'm just hunting for the email, but when is the Metro West meeting?
June 30th.
June 30th, okay.
Yeah.
Was that an email from Karina?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to send that to you again?
I'm sure I can find it. I just, my email's a mess. My email system's a disaster.
I'll just resend it to you, Tom.
Okay, actually I found it. Thanks.
Got it, okay.
CHAPA regional meeting, okay. Got it.
Okay, and then the other thing I noticed this morning, right before we were meeting, we have 4 members that their terms are expiring on June 30th. John Woods, Jesse Stein, Chelsea, and myself. So I'm strongly suggesting you re-up. and I'm hopeful that you will re-up your position on this board. But Sarah, they need to let planning board know, or me know and I let planning board know?
If they can just let you know, then you can write, everybody on one letter to the planning board, and then we will reappoint everyone. Or the planning board will reappoint, not we, them.
Okay. Right. So if John, Chelsea, and Jesse, if you wouldn't mind just shooting me an email, I'm hopeful that you will stay on the board.
So procedurally, this would need to be appointed by a board of selectmen, right? Not planning board, Sarah?
My understanding is that the planning board appoints Shopc.
No, I was appointed by the board of selectmen.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Lori Esposito needs to be notified.
Okay, so I'll send this to Lori.
Sorry about that. That was
That's okay.
Then.
I just was like, wait a second. I don't think planning board appointed me.
You know.
That's you were appointed.
I think it's because I have appointments on the brain. Planning board is appointing the Public Works Planning Commission and a bunch of other
but
things.
isn't there an element where one person from each of the planning board and board of selectmen are supposed to be on this committee, so that maybe those bodies appoint their designated person to be on the board, and the board of selectmen.
So I think planning board makes a recommendation to board of selectmen for the planning board slot. And then, but board of selectmen still appoints it.
Right.
Whereas like public works planning board is split between moderator and planning board for appointments.
Right. And then planning board appoints master plan committee.
Yes. Right.
So
Jesse, we hope you're staying with us.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be on the agenda for the June. When's the next planning board meeting? I think it's June 7th. I'm sure my appointment, unless I have any competition on the planning board, you never know. Somebody could try to snake the spot for me. So if I don't get submarined by any of my fellow planning board members, I will be back in action.
Woohoo!
Hey, Jesse, where do you file the applications for planning board? How does someone do that?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just curious. I got a friend who's...
All right, the other email you received was from Chelsea for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the ARPA. Did anybody have an opportunity to read that? If you haven't, you need to. Okay. That you actually have a homework assignment. You need to read that. And we're going to have to discuss that in detail at our next meeting. So,
can I just make a comment on that?
Yes.
So it's a pretty fluid situation where new information's coming out almost every week on this. So whatever you read today will probably get refined next week. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that there's still a lot of details that are getting worked out with that. So it is good to read through what Sarah sent out. And also a lot of different sources for what will be covered under ARPA. But it's definitely something that this board should be aware of.
Yes, that's important. We have to know what this information is in this document. So I really would appreciate if everybody could just read up on it. There's a longer form of it. There's the original documents, 242 pages. There's another document that's 150 pages, and we sent you the 18-page one. So this is like the Cliff Notes section.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a moving target.
Yep.
But I would really appreciate if everybody could read this document for the next meeting. Even though it may change, let's just make sure we're educated on this and we know what's going on. Okay. This is a very short meeting because we're not discussing the one stop. So next meeting.
Actually, before we go to the next meeting, at the end of last meeting, we were going to send a letter to the Housable Trust Fund. Anything get back? Any update?
Nope, that was sent. And they were waiting till after town meeting to send anything. So Nothing's happened since. So that was sent right after our meeting, but they wanted to wait till after town meeting, which can't blame anybody. There was a lot of moving parts for town meeting. So, so that should go out hopefully soon. I will touch base with Lisa over it. Or Chelsea, you're right here. Affordable. If you can get that letter to
yeah, I think the trust needs to meet. So that's on our list, is to have a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
May I ask a question about the last meeting?
Sure.
In the minutes, it discussed an impasse between 16A and 16B, Stockwell. What was the impasse? What was the problem?
So there's no current problem, but prior to me being on the trust, my understanding it was over a stone wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was.
So this is to avoid any conflict in the future.
Coming forward.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. That was a recommendation from town council.
Thank you.
Okay. So next meeting. How does Wednesday, you guys want to meet earlier or later in the month? You know, the 16th or the 23rd?
Hey, Sarah, when's our next master planning meeting? You know it off the top of your head?
Yes, the next master plan meeting is going to be on Thursday, June 10th.
Okay. So, Dory, my only suggestion is we have it after June 10th.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I was trying to do a few weeks out. So we do it either the 16th or the 23rd of June.
16th works for me.
16th?
16th would be better for me, but I can make either work, Dorian.
Alex, are you good?
Either way, are we back to 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Yes, Alex, sorry.
About that.
Is somebody not a morning person?
I'm not.
I've been up since 4, so I'm a morning person.
I get up fully awake, but I don't get to bed that early.
All right. Would anybody, I mean, is the 16th good then? We'll just do it on the 16th?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So 8 a.m., June 16th. You have your homework and we'll have a longer meeting then, but sorry, this was such a short meeting, but.
Dorian, I'm sorry for I have a really dumb question. The document that you really want us to read, where do I find that?
Sarah emailed it to you. It's an email.
It should be in an attachment and I can forward it again.
You want to Sarah, can you just resend that to everyone?
Yeah. Announcement, Jesse, the one where Sarah sent it out saying, hey, we have a meeting tomorrow or in 2 days. And she enclosed the agenda. And then one of the other enclosures was the ARPA.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Okay. I will go. Yep. I will review that. Thank you.
I thought I had the link to that Metro West meeting, but I'm having trouble finding it. What date was that one sent to us?
Well, you know what? We'll just resend everything to everyone so you have it. We'll just resend the emails and how you can register for those. I'll resend Karina's emails out, Sarah. I'll just forward them to everyone. Okay. And then if you could just send Jesse. So would it be to their advantage to have the longer form of this document versus the Cliff Notes?
Not necessarily.
No, Chelsea's saying no.
I think no, because I think like Chelsea mentioned, the guidance is ever evolving. And the main legislation that was signed into law is really terribly hard to read. So I don't think it would do anybody any benefit to read those at this point. But that high level document does at least kind of show, the different topic areas that the legislation is covering with those funds.
Okay, so if you could send everyone the Cliff Note version one more time, and then I will, as soon as we get off of here, I will resend both of Karina's emails to everyone for registering for both of those. Well, actually, there's 4 different sessions for affordable housing. So pick and choose what you would like to do, and we can discuss them at our next meeting.
Great.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Now that's where we're trying to get our money from for the Southville that we didn't get for through the One Stop, correct, Dorian?
Yes.
In case that we're not eligible in that, should we look for other monies? Is there any place other grants that we could kind of take a look at that you can think of, Chelsea? I know there was some others in the pipeline that I can see if Marika knows anything about as well, or I can kind of poke around just in case.
Yeah. So I think I actually looked last night, and it doesn't look like the final guidance has been issued by the state for the MBTA communities. And I'm assuming that there could be an opportunity there once this, if the state's mandating you to do it, then there may be funds available. The other option is Stockwell selling tomorrow. So I think worst case scenario is we have trust money to use for that, which I think would be an appropriate use of that money. So I think where we know that this is something that we have to do, I think it's probably good we're not banking on a grant for it because we may not get it, right? So I think, from a housing trust perspective, which I know I'm just one vote, but Dorian is also on that. I think, that's definitely something that we could use as a last resort if we can't get a grant funding.
Yeah, I mean, that's my view. Just to echo that, I think this is sort of the core of what we sort of should be doing. So if we're going to be, if we have whatever $100,000 sitting in the trust fund, spending $15,000 to do a study and feasibility study, to rezone Southville seems right squarely in our wheelhouse for what we should be doing with that money.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Did the EEA open another round of grants? Does anybody know?
No.
Let me check into that one too, because that would fit in.
Yeah, wherever we can find grant money possibilities, I think we should try to research that a little bit. That's a good idea, John.
If we apply for the grants and we don't have them approved as of yet, and we wind up using the trust fund money, I think we can get reimbursed that, though, if the grant goes through, if we've applied for it before we've used that. But I can look into that.
Okay.
As well.
Or use the money for something else.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if worst case scenario, we had to use it to do the study, well, I think we'd get reimbursed from it from if we got a grant.
Oh, for the feasibility study.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
It may depend on the timing too. Like we may not have time to wait for this grant, for this particular grant based on when the state's we just don't know when the state's going to issue their guidance, right? So I think it depends on timing. And, I'll give the example of at this town meeting, we had the fire tender up and we knew it was a piece that we wanted to move forward. We're still waiting to hear if we received the grant for it, but we wanted to get it appropriated at town meeting in case we didn't get the grant. So I think this falls into something that we know we need to do. And so let's make sure we have a way to get it done.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Totally agree. Okay, does anybody have any other questions, concerns? Okay, we get a motion to adjourn meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Chelsea?
Aye.
Tom M?
Aye.
Tom B?
Aye.
Dorian I. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you in June.
Thank you.
Tom
Care.
Bistel, can you give me a quick call?
Who?
Tom Bistel.
Okay.
Oh, lost him. I'll give him a call.